What is up, you guys out there? Of course, I am DJ Cash, and if you see, I am wearing my NXT t-shirt, and rightfully so, people. Holy crap, we had one hell of a show. I'm actually one of the people who actually watched it at 3 o'clock, and I understand like everybody was probably at work, maybe finish up the last minute score, so people had to probably see it. They're probably watching it right now for all I know. But yeah, this is just my little review of NXT Takeover London. I thought it was an excellent show, but I want to go down match by match, moment by moment, and you can. And also, you probably know me as you know me as DJ Cash. I usually do the regular show review, but I also do a little bit of wrestling also on the side. So let's go ahead and kick this little review start. We kicked off NXT Takeover London with, of course, Triple H. And I will say, I got to give kudos to Triple H that he actually said what happened to him this past Sunday at TLC for all the wrestling fans out there. He actually addressed that, and he was able to incorporate it into NXT, which I really thought that was just great on his part. Then we kick off with the actual match. It was Asuka versus Emma with Dana Brooke at ringside. I really love that this match. I really love the fact that this match kicked off. I mean, usually they could. I felt as if I pretty much all thought that Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin was probably going to kick off, which I'll get into in a little bit. I'm pretty sure that all of us thought that was going to kick off, but I'm glad they didn't do that because this just goes to show you put the NXT women they put them at the start of the show. When I saw they put them at the start of the show, I knew it was going to get good automatically. Asuka, like she's still in that transitional period. I feel like much like Hideo Itami had to go through. And I noticed that NXT, they do this a lot, like where they use some of the NXT talent to help, get over the international stars that come over, like with the Ascension some time ago when they did their thing with Finn Balor and Hideo Itami, and that worked out great. But yeah, Emma really doesn't get the credit that she deserves, and I really don't see like how she never had an NXT Women's Championship run. I mean, for various reasons, probably. Again, this is a woman who actually once stole a cell phone case from Walmart, but that's around the point. But yeah, just really good match. And the teasers at the end of the match, I was just sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, no, Asuka, you better not lose this match to Emma. Yeah, I truly feel they don't give Emma a lot of credit. And it's really nice to hear the commentator actually mention that Emma pretty much is one of the founding women of NXT. I mean, go back and watch those matches that Emma had with Paige, and you'll be like, how did Emma not become a success or even get one NXT women's title run? Anna Brooks, she was just honestly there. I mean, she did her role just fine. And of course, like I said, Asuka, she's still going through that transitional period. So it's gonna take a while for her to like get in the grind and actually become a contender for NXT Women's Championship. But as far as this match, really good opener, and it set the tone for a night that was just flat out great. Moving on from that match, we then go to the first championship of the night, the NXT Tag Team Championships. It was Dash and Dawson, the challengers, the mechanics, even though they don't call them by that name, I don't know why, versus Enzo and Big Cass. Enzo and Big Cass are great. Like the London crowd was just awesome earlier. Like they were just fantastic. These are the smartest fans in the world. I don't know how come they don't generate that when it comes to Monday Night Raw, but that's around the point. But yeah, Dash and Dawson really do not get a lot of credit like they should, because I feel as if this is what a heel tag team should portray. And this is how you build a tag team feud. You have the heel tag team attack the face team. The face team is gone for a month. The heel team win the championships. The face team comes back, kicks their butt. Bam, feud right there. Championship match was made. And when we got to the match, it was fine. Like I thought it was a decent match for what it was. I was shocked at the amount of time that it got, because they don't usually go this amount of time with NXT Tag Team Championship matches. But yeah, Dash and Dawson, they don't get the credit they deserve. Like they are just a heel tag team. These guys have a lot more charisma. These guys they got personality, unlike Blake and Murphy. Like when Blake and Murphy were the champions, I couldn't buy them as heel champions because they barely did anything, and I just never bought. But with Dash and Dawson, I definitely bought them. And the moments in this match was amazing. Like Big Cass just threw Enzo all the way over the ropes onto Dash and Dawson. And when it was all said and done, I know I'm not the only one out there. I seriously thought when Enzo hit that splash, we had new champions. I pretty much thought this was their time. But in the end, Dash and Dawson got the win, which actually was kind of shocking to me because we all know NXT is taped, but this was an actual live event. So I was surprised that Enzo and Big Cass did not win because I truly felt that this was their time. I mean, this is a team that has been around NXT going back to the founding days of NXT in 2013. They've been around the longest next to the Ascension to never have a title run. So it's really interesting why NXT didn't give them the stretch. But I was fine with that. I do think you can get some more out of Dash and Dawson as the champions because they are that heel and they are getting booed, so they are doing their job. But yeah, really good match. Next match on the card, it was Apollo Crews, Yuha Nation for the IWC out there, versus the Lone Wolf Baron Corbin. Solid match. Like this was a real solid contest. Like a lot of the NXT matches. Here's a statistic for you. Baron Corbin, after pinning Apollo Crews tonight, he has gotten 6 wins on NXT Takeover specials. Like he has not lost not one match. I did not even think about that. Like we've seen Baron Corbin lose, but we don't see him lose office. That was kind of a shocker to me. And good moments in this match. I mean, a lot of people I think they're kind of questioning like why would you have Baron Corbin kick out of the moonsault that Apollo Crews hit and then have Baron Corbin hit his end of days and Apollo Crews loses and Baron Corbin, he gets the win. I think because they've really protected the end of days finisher a lot that really should be able to, you shouldn't get up from. Unlike the moonsault, I mean, it's just a standing moonsault. Anybody should be able to kick out of that, but that is a finisher. And I will say it is kind of strange because it's kind of funny because they were pushing Apollo Crews to the moon when he first came in NXT, and then they just have him all of a sudden lose. So I can't really explain why they did that, but I don't think it hurts him too much. I just mentioned it. Baron Corbin, 6 wins on NXT TakeOver specials. He has not lost not one match. But yeah, like I said, just a really good match. It's really going to be interesting to see because I heard Baron Corbin say that he's going after the NXT championship. So Baron Corbin for NXT champion, I don't know. But at least he is getting the crowd to boo him because that was one of the issues that he was going through at first was actually getting hate. We had a face versus a heel, so that match did its job. And as for Apollo Crews, it's going to be interesting to see where his next feud is going to go from there. Next match. The second championship match of the night, Nia Jax, the challenger. Oh, before I get to that match, was I the only one that was really popping? I know I wasn't the only one that was popping when Nia Jax looked at Asuka and they just had that stare down and I'm looking, oh my God, can we please see this feud? Get this, I'm just sitting there going, can we please just see the match? Like, skip the feud, skip the stare down, just let me see the match. But I'm willing to wait on that. We had to get through Bayley. And after that, we move on to the NXT Women's Championship match, Nia Jax versus the champion Bayley. Really, really good match. In my opinion, I thought it was a good match. It definitely was. It was going to be interesting because one of the things that I was wondering, because you had to wonder going in, how was Nia Jax going to feel? Was going to be in? Because here's the thing: all the NXT Women's Championship matches have been labeled as the main event, and they lasted like 20 to 30 minutes at best, and you had to wonder how Nia Jax was going to handle that. She did seem a little flustered at first, but once the match started going, I definitely could tell she got comfortable. And like the match quality, the match was both the way it should be. Nia Jax dominating and Bayley just kicking out of everything. Like after Nia Jax hit the third leg drop on the head, I legitimately thought that was it. I legitimately thought that was it. And also those Samoa drives, I thought that was it. And I will say Nia Jax was kind of off in the match, though. I mean, she kept making like real rookie mistakes. I don't know if that's part of her character or if that's just part of the that was part of the match story they were trying to tell, but I didn't agree with that. I mean, Nia Jax, I mean, you're the cousin of The Rock. You should know better. You should know better than to put your foot on an opponent that has been a champion that has been champion for 4 months and that's been taken serious in this women's division. You should have had, but that's beside the point. And Bayley, she kept trying and trying and trying. I'm like, can you please knock this woman off her feet? And she finally did into the guillotine submission hold. And Nia Jax taps out and Bayley retains. Like I said, it was a good match. I just was a little iffy. I was just a tad bit iffy on the finish because you figured that they would try to build Nia Jax up to the way that she was, like all dominant, just straight up dominant, and then she taps out. It's kind of difficult to see if Nia Jax. It's gonna be interesting to see where Nia Jax is gonna go because I really would love to see an Asuka Nia Jax feud, but I think that's a bit too early. Wait till WrestleMania season come in and we get to NXT Takeover Dallas. Oh my God! As far as Bayley, it's very interesting to where she goes from there as well. It's like there's a lot of people I feel from this show. There are some stories that you can continue, but I also feel as if there are some stories that people have, like nobody has any direction at this point. But yeah, that's to be expected after an event like this. Really great match. And again, Bayley retained. So she has really come a long way. I love it. And of course, our main event for NXT TakeOver London, the NXT Championship versus Finn Balor, the champion, versus Samoa Joe, the challenger. Can we please just take a second and talk about that entrance? Jack the Ripper is proud right now. Like that entrance was just great, and I'm really glad that Finn Balor actually incorporated something into that entrance. Because here's the thing: when I'm thinking of Finn Balor, he doesn't really have much of a personality or a character. The only thing that he's pretty much known for is the demon gimmick when he comes out for the entrance. And I'm glad he changed it up, like with the whole Jack the Ripper thing. When we got to the ring, and I really love on how the NXT production crew, they do the whole lighting in a championship match. Like it definitely brings that big fight feel, like something is about to go down. NXT, baby. But yeah, we get the match. Really, really solid matchup. Really, really solid matchup because, of course, and yes, I am going to give TNA a little prop here. TNA reference. Of course, we all know Samoa Joe from TNA. We all know what he's about. So it's like to me, it was just Joe being Joe throughout the match. Him being physical as he can be. Finn Balor, the demon, he did his little thing. I really wish Finn Balor would get rid of that coup de grace double foot stop. Like, that is not a good finisher. That's just my opinion. I seriously think he needs to get rid of that finisher. Like, it just does not look right. Match went very back and forth. We had a lot of counters in this match, and I think there was one counter like where they were trying to do forearms, and then Joe hit a forearm on Finn Balor, but Finn Balor came out with the little Pele kick. That was a good spot in the matchup. And Samoa Joe, every time he flies through the ropes, I'm like, this guy, how big is he? And he can fly with ease through the ropes. Like it, I've known Joe for years watching him, and it still amazes me to this day. And back and forth action as the match was going on. They're on the top rope. Finn Balor was able to knock Joe off the top rope. Finn Balor hits the coup de grace, and that was it. And Finn Balor is still your NXT champion. Now, I kind of was like, okay, I'm wondering where are they going to go with Finn Balor. Here's the thing. This event was great. It was awesome. And all matches I felt were solid. But it's like when it came to the NXT Championship match, I feel as if I'm fine with Finn Balor winning, but I think they could have had more options with Samoa Joe if he would have won, especially with the Royal Rumble coming up. Like you could have had Finn Balor drop the belt here, make his debut in the Royal Rumble, and he could spark a feud for Bray Wyatt, but that's another story for another day. But Yeah, it's just like, it's kind of weird because I really felt that Samoa Joe was actually going to win the title because I think you can get you can get more options with Samoa Joe because I just feel as if Finn Balor, him as champion, has just kind of run its course at this point. I mean, he's been champion since July, and he's run through everybody. So it's like, who could challenge Finn Balor next? That's the question, and I love that question because I'm wondering where is this guy fresh? Maybe Joe will get another shot. I don't know. And that was NXT Takeover London. Overall thoughts on this show? I said it before. I would say that throughout this video. Awesome, awesome show. Every time I see these takeover events, they just get better and better and better. I mean, it's just so amazing what Triple H. NXT is his baby. We all know it. That's his project that he has worked on, and he is just turning into great. The NXT Takeover London crowd, I thought, was just funny and fantastic throughout the night. Everybody on that NXT roster busted their ass, like legitimately. Even though I did feel as if there were questionable finishes to the matches, but like I said, every single one of those matches was saw, and I was engaged throughout the show. It's like you look at these takeover special, and it's like, why can't they incorporate what they do on NXT on the main roster? But I'm glad that they kind of don't, because that separates. Like, I'm glad that they're making NXT a separate brand from the WWE. Like, actually make it into like a promotion separate. Make it a separate entity from the WWE, and that is what they have done. Like I said, the next takeover special is in Dallas, so that's going to be really, really interesting to see how they incorporate that. And it's 3 days before WrestleMania, so yeah, it's like a situation where NXT versus WrestleMania. And here's the thing, I think there's a good possibility for a WrestleMania match, Team NXT versus Team WWE. And I'm going to leave on that note. Let me know what you guys thought of. I know some of you have probably not watched it yet, but let me leave your comments down in the comment section at the bottom when I finish this up. Let me know how I did, and let me know what you guys thought of the show. As far as I'm concerned, I'm DJ Cass, and that was my NXT Takeover London review. See you around.